Well, good morning, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you with Gabriella Collins from beautiful San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Come on over, people. Come on over. See, I love you. See, I let people in, just so you know. You never know how you really are behaving until, people try to cut you off and you slow down and let them in. It's really good for your soul and for humility, and people don't know what to think about it. You have very good reason to be afraid and even angry about spiritual reality. Very good reason. And I'll tell you why. For those of you who enjoy watching the TV show Modern Family, for those of you who enjoy that, or my real estate friends, there's a guy named Phil Dunphy in this TV show, and he's a realtor. And he's a real fun guy, and he's a total goofball at the same time. Well, he has a son named Luke, who, like him, is a goofball. And there was an episode that will model for you what I attempt to bring to you today by way of understanding. There was an episode where they had the mean, angry neighbor. It was the old man, the mean, angry neighbor, on this Modern Family show that everybody was afraid of in the neighborhood. Everybody was afraid of this mean and angry neighbor, and everybody avoided him. Everybody talked about him. Everybody had stories about him. Everybody had all of their fears and concerns about this guy. And one day, by chance, Luke, the son, ended up meeting him, talking to him, and over a series of the next few weeks, they became best friends. You see, because what everybody in the neighborhood, even his parents, sisters, friends, everybody thought about this mean, angry old man turned out to be completely untrue. And Luke discovered by spending time with this old guy that he was actually super cool. He had just gone through an awful lot. He had some health issues. But he was the coolest, nicest, most amazing guy Luke had ever met, and they became best friends. And it was unusual to everybody around them because everybody still hung on to their perception of him, and yet Luke knew that the angry, mean old man was actually super, super cool. So this is an example of why you're afraid and scared of spiritual reality, because you see, nature cries out the reality of an amazing God, an amazing creator. You've seen him before, whether you believe this or not. You've seen sunsets. You've seen sunrises. You've seen the beauty in nature. You've sat on the edge of a beach as the birds fly overhead in synchronized orchestration of beauty that causes something in your soul to recognize that there probably is a God, number one, and number two, you ain't him. Spiritual reality, much like this Modern Family movie, this TV show, this episode, where the mean, angry neighbor that everybody was afraid of until Luke, the son, had an opportunity to actually meet him and spend time with him and become best friends. It's the same reason. You see, if people have a misconstrued conception of the creator of the universe, of God, of this Father, because they put their dad's issues on God, or because they believe the stories about him from psycho weirdo granolas, the fruits, the flakes, and nuts, who say they are connected to him, that they know him, and yet they act like idiots, holier than thou, judgmental, unforgiving, self-righteous. You know the kind I'm talking about, right? If you don't know a funky, weird Christian, you might just be one, so be careful. Check yourself before you wreck yourself, as Zig Ziglar would say. Have a checkup from the neck up and see where you really stand. What fruit are you producing? Why most people are afraid or scared of spiritual reality is a misconstrued understanding of the character and nature of a loving Father. Most people have a misconstrued idea that is based on their own ideas that have come from other people that say they identify with him, or their limited pursuit of attempting to understand him. And so a judgment is made. He's mean and angry. He doesn't like me. There's nothing I can do to please him. He's unfair. He's weird. Why does he let bad things happen to good people? And there is a misunderstanding, because as people, we truly have fear of things we do not understand and ultimately have no control over. If you could fully understand God, if you fully had control over that whole thing, ladies and gentlemen, he just wouldn't be God. His thinking and his ways are so much higher than our thinking and our ways. As far as the heavens are from the earth, is his thinking and ways above ours. So, you know what? I would challenge you. I would challenge you to do the research yourself. I would challenge you to do the investigation yourself. But don't be like most entitled Americans that give up after you don't see results for a few days. You know, there are some things that take time to dig into. And the beauty of this conversation is it is a relationship thing. It ain't a religious thing. It ain't about doing this and doing that, checking the boxes off, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, 3 Hail Marys, and a blink of the eyes, and a little humming, and I'm good. It's not about religious behavior. It is a living, active relationship. A living, active relationship. How much would I really know about my wife, Angela, if I just spent 1 hour with her a week on Sunday, and while she was talking, I was actually checking my text messages and Facebook and not really paying attention to her, and then I walked off? What kind of a relationship would I have with my wife? What kind of a relationship would I have with Angela if I did that? I gave her 1 hour a week. And while she was talking to me, I'm looking at Facebook and on my phone. And yet that's how most people attend church. That's what most people's attention is in investigating the good Lord. So my challenge to you is this. The reason I have a vibrant relationship with my wife is because we have a daily conversation. We daily communicate. We daily connect. We daily are involved in each other's lives. And ladies and gentlemen, I've got good news for you. God ain't ever on hold. He ain't ever too busy for you. He has the capacity to have a conversation with you all day long. So here's what I would challenge you with this day. If you find yourself worried about, scared about, or even angry about spiritual reality, it's probably because you have a misconception of the goodness of God and the truth and reality that he loves you unconditionally. Now, his promises are conditional. The promises are conditional. If you do this, then I will do that. If you do this, then I will bless that. If you do this, I will bless that. Promises are conditional. The love is unconditional. There's nothing you can do that would cause him to write you off as a lost cause, ladies and gentlemen. There's just nothing you can do about it. It says flatly in the scripture, plainly, plain as day, what can separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus? Heights, depths, angels, demons, nearness, farness, tribulations, persecutions. What? What can separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus? Nothing. Not one single thing. So I'm going to challenge you today to allow yourself to be loved unconditionally in the midst of your craziness, in the midst of your sin, in the midst of your mistakes, in the midst of your past issues, in the midst of your own issues in yourself. You just have to accept the fact that I'm sorry. He loves you just the way that you are. And you know, he's not going to wait until you figure it all out to put that love on you. That's conditional. People do that. Well, if they would just do this, then I would be nice to them. People are conditional. He is not, ladies and gentlemen. His love is unconditional. It's a choice. It's a decision. It's an action. It's not about feeling. He doesn't stop falling in love with you. It's different. Agape love is a unconditional love. So would you allow yourself to do that this morning? Would you allow yourself just to believe and experience that he loves you like crazy, man? He loves you like crazy. He's got your back. He wants good for you. There's a promise in Jeremiah 29:11 that says, "For I know the plans I have for you," says the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you hope in the future. Does that mean you'll understand him? No. Does that mean you'll understand everything? No. Does that mean that everything is going to make sense to you? No. And yet, if you know the character and the heart of God for you, you can trust by faith that He is working out everything for your good. Like the old country song says, some of the best prayers were the ones that were unanswered. Think about it for a minute. If you're scared or fearful, it's probably because you just don't understand how amazingly good He is to you. So I leave you with this today. Allow yourself to be loved and enveloped in the love that He has for you, that has nothing to do with who you are or what you did or the mistakes you've made or the challenges you've had. Please understand, He loves you like crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Allow Him to do it today and see how big your life can get. Have a great day, guys.